Hey, and welcome back to Talk of Better Worlds. My name's Sir Felix the Cat, and this is The Blender, a show where we take something that we're nerdy about and kind of make a list out of it. This week, I want to talk a little bit about some characters that just don't seem to get enough appreciation these days. I mean, in their own circles, they may get love, but they lack that from society as a whole. For example, an honorable mention would be Polka Dot Man. Before James Gunn's Suicide Squad, when was the last time you ever heard anybody mention Polka Dot Man? I'll wait. I'm not wearing a watch. And see, that's exactly my point. I think it's time that we correct that. So, editor, throw that title card up. Please throw that title card up, Mr. Editor, sir. Don't hit me again. Here are 7 forgotten or underappreciated characters. So, without further ado, let's grab our hearts and let's go. Number 7, Agumon from Digimon. Okay, so I'm starting this list off with a pick that's bound to get a reaction from some of, WTF yo, Agumon is not some unknown character. And I agree. But, is he as loved as he should be? Is he as loved as the mascot of the other big monster taming franchise? The answer to both those questions is no, not by a long shot. Pikachu is way more well known to the general populace, even to those who never played any of the video games. As a fan of both franchises, I don't understand why Agumon never reached the same heights of popularity. He is a cute little baby T-Rex looking creature thing, and can actually speak, not just limited to saying his name over and over. Yeah, he's kinda dumb at times, but he is just a toddler when you think of him in his evolutionary chart. Agumon is a fun, friendly, and ever-loyal digital monster, and he is absolutely deserving to be on the same level as his pocket monster counterpart. Yeah, this entry was kinda just an excuse for me to talk about my love of Digimon. Number 6, Zen, Intergalactic Ninja. Okay, so raise your hand if you are familiar with Zen, the Intergalactic Ninja. Okay, so more than one. That's kind of shocking. Well, congrats to those of you who raised your hand. You know an absolute under-acknowledged legend of a character. Yes, I can. For those of you who are not aware, Zen is an alien, intergalactic traveling ninja, and hero that was created in 1987 by Steve Stern and Dan Coate. Do hope I'm saying their names right. He was in their comic book of the same name, Zen, Intergalactic Ninja. It's quite a shame that Zen isn't as huge a name in comics like members of the Justice League and or the Avengers, because he's done probably just as much important work as they have. Now, people who collect Nintendo Entertainment System or Game Boy games may be familiar with Zen, as he did have a video game released in 1992 for the Game Boy and 93 for the NES. On screen, I have been playing the Game Boy version of this game, and as you can tell, I am very good at this game. And by very good, I mean absolute trash. But it is a very good game on the original Game Boy. I won't knock it at all. Definitely go and check out this comic. Trust me, it is worth it. Number 5, The Shadow. Who knows? The Shadow knows. Oh, sorry about that. I was sneezing. That's all it was. Sneeze. Back in the 1930s, for home entertainment, people would sit around radio and listen to serials, radio dramas. Magazine publisher Street and Smith wanted to get in on the action, so they teamed up with writer Walter B. Gibson to make a character that would be a mysterious radio narrator for Detective Story Hour. Soon after, listeners started asking their local news and magazine stands for The Shadow comics. Seeing they had struck gold, Street and Smith got to work creating The Shadow magazine, which would be first released on April 1st, 1931. And my guess is several stand owners told customers they didn't have it just as an April Fool's joke. Pretty bad one in my opinion. 1937, The Shadow would get his own radio drama. Same character as the comics, however, there would be some minor differences. Like, his secret identity in the radio series was Lamont Cranston, while in the comics, he was Kent Allard, but used the identity of the famous pilot Lamont Cranston as his alter ego. Also, some variations in his powers, but nothing that was like extremely game-changing. The reason the Shadow is important is not just because he is a really awesome hero, but it's because he is a very influential hero. Bob Kane and Bill Finger used aspects from a story of the Shadow and of the character himself when they created Batman. If you are familiar with the original Batman stories, he was not against using guns or killing back in the day, much like the Shadow. There are a number of movies with the Shadow, but most would probably be familiar with the 1994 film starring Alec Baldwin. You know what? If you have seen it, let me know down in the comments what you think about it. If you aren't sure if you've seen it or not, it's what's been on the screen this whole time. Number 4, Axel, from the Mega Man X series. Okay, so this guy you see here with the guns is Axel. I have absolutely no other footage of him, so watch me play Mega Man Battle Network while I talk. Axel was first introduced into the Mega Man X series in Mega Man X7, when he joined X and the Maverick Hunters. This Reploid is the third hero in the series, and I just want more of him. X has his own series, Zero has his own series, but poor Axel just gets shafted here. I first met him in Mega Man X Command Mission for the GameCube and PS2, and unfortunately that is where this game remains because Capcom has yet to port it to a modern console. And that's just a shame. There are people who want to give you money, Capcom. Just give us what we want. Unlike X, and more in line with Zero, Axel uses pistols and not a built-in blaster. Axel actually uses dual pistols called Axel Bullets, capable of rapid fire. With these, he can perform copy shot to replicate the ability of other Reploids. Another way he differs from the mostly pacifist X is Axel loves to fight and can be rather ruthless. This expert marksman is not someone the enemies of the Maverick Hunters will want to face. Number 3, D. Sardet, from Greedfall. Not only is D. Sardet an overlooked character, but they are from a completely underhyped game. Greedfall was released in 2019 by Spiders, and it did at the time get decent sales, good enough to get us an upcoming sequel, which the sequel is kind of getting some hype, but that's only because people don't like the look of the new Dragon Age game. So you're just seeing stories of like, hey, it's the new Dragon Age, even though it's not Dragon Age, not made by the same people, has nothing to do with it, but whatever. But anyways, you never hear anybody talk about Greedfall, and I really don't understand that. It's a fantastic RPG that has a familiar feel, kind of like Mass Effect series, or, again, Dragon Age, but with a Three Musketeers-esque spin to it. In Greedfall, we take control of D. Sardet, a noble of a merchant family from the city of Serene, on the continent of Gakane. No clue if I'm saying that right. D. Sardet is appointed as the legate of New Serene, a port city on the semi-newly colonized island of Tirfide. They are also to serve their cousin, Prince Constantine de Orsay, again, I'm probably butchering some names, who is the appointed colonial governor of Tirfide by the congregation of merchants, the previously mentioned colonizers. Sardet may be a noble, but unbeknownst to even themselves, have familial connections to this island, which hopefully will be of use as you need to work with the natives, not just to form a mutual alliance of growth and acceptance, but they may just help you find a cure to the strange illness that plagues citizens on Gaucain, including your mother. Your mom. Number 2, Fidel, from Star Ocean, Integrity and Faithlessness. Alright, so this entry into the Star Ocean series did not review well upon release. To each their own, but I personally love every entry and enjoyed this game very much. Except for when I went back and started playing it for this video, I then realized I was playing on easy before, and I got stuck later into the game and it got stupid hard, so I guess that just means I'm trash at games. But our main character is Fidel. Again, you're noticing I'm just going to skip his last name because I don't know how to say it. But Fidel is a fencer who is part of the village watch, keeping bandits and monsters alike at bay. He is a caring and thoughtful young man who sets out on an adventure to get stronger in order to better protect the ones he loves and to assist the Rezulian army, whom his father is part of. On this journey, Fidel and friends end up meeting and teaming up with Pan-Galactic Federation Captain Emerson T. Kenny, ending up on a grand adventure to save all of their planet, Fay Creed 4. Really, because of who Fidel is as a person, the game should be called Integrity and Selflessness, as the guy is always willing to help out those in need and put others first. If you have a PS3, PS4, PS5, definitely check this game out and give my man Fidel the appreciation he deserves. And number 1, Bench McCarthy from Killers by Howie Carr. For this one, you're just going to have to enjoy some footage of Empire of Sin because this book unfortunately doesn't have any movies. Howie Carr is a New York Times best-selling author who is best known for his non-fiction books detailing the career and the arrest of Whitey Bulger, a notorious Irish mobster who terrorized Boston from the 1970s to the 1990s. Being familiar with the subject of mobsters and their crimes, Carr wrote the fictional story of Killers. This focuses on Bench McCarthy, a mobster who is dealing with the changing of the times, aging mob bosses, and the loss of the powerhouse that was Whitey Bulger. Mob crime is no longer about getting protection money from the shops in town. Superstores have kind of seen to that, basically forcing these small local shops to shutter their doors. And then gambling is now done in casinos or on apps, not in their bars anymore. New modern gangsters are more common these days, and they have no respect and no code of ethics like the mobs. And when I say that, I use code of ethics very loosely. Now, the mobsters seem to have targets on their heads, and it's up to Bench to try and save the families and put a stop to this by any means necessary. Does that not sound like an awesome story? Honestly, not sure why this is not a movie. It is a nice change to get a criminal character that isn't just a total piece of trash. Like, yeah, he's bad for being a mobster, but he is a very likable character and, in the end, a very respectable character. Well, that's all I had for you this week, but I hope that something I mentioned here makes you want to go back and re-experience these characters or just meet them for the first time if you haven't before. Because each one of these characters is very awesome in their own ways. And makes me want to mention one last thing. Much like all these characters that I talked about, you too matter and should be appreciated. So, here is me telling you, I appreciate you. And you do matter, even when you may feel like a ghost. Don't ever forget that. Until next time, take care.
Hey, thanks for watching. Give us a like if you enjoyed it, and dislike it if you didn't.
Let us know what you think about the channel.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Tell your mom.